Hi, McCartney fans, and welcome to episode 121 of Two Legs, a Paul McCartney podcast. We are a Paul McCartney talk show mainly dealing with the solo career of the one and only McCartney. I'm one of your two co-hosts, Tom Hunyadi. You may know me from my other show, Talk More Talk, a solo Beatles videocast. And I am joined by my buddy, my backwards traveler, Andy Nichols. Andy, what is going on, my friend?
Good afternoon, and we're recording on a nice Sunday, and we're getting ready to
Yeah.
talk about songs that Paul gave away.
Yes, they gave away, but they were singles. I mean, Paul's given away lots of songs over the years, but we're going to just mainly talk about five songs that were singles, and we're going to talk about whether or not his name had a lot of weight with it during his solo career, as it did with this time with the Beatles. I
Beatles
mean,
time.
because as we know, John and Paul they gave songs away to other acts during their heyday, and some successful and some not so much. And we're just going to compare the two and see how Paul did. As a songwriter for other acts during his solo career. So we picked five songs here. We're going to go over those and it just talk about them and see whether or not we like them or should he have kept them, or was it better that he just gave those songs away? You know what I'm saying?
Interesting
Some yeah.
after we do this to see how many of the ex Beatles in the '70s who gave away the most for other people. You
Oh,
know,
it's definitely
I,
definitely Paul. I mean,
Paul, right? John
yeah,
didn't give away. John didn't give away too much. Only a couple to Ringo, right? He gave away.
right, yeah, a couple of Ringo, and then I don't think George gave too many away either. I mean,
He
it's
gave
something I could,
a
yeah,
couple, right? Like
couple, right,
try some by
some by
some.
some, but then he also did his own version as well.
Right.
So it's just like where he gave Michael Jackson Girlfriend, but he also did his own version, but there's songs like Let's Love, which he gave to Peggy Lee, which is, his version I think is really cool. Really surprised that Peggy Lee version wasn't a single because it's really good. And then obviously you got the Roger Daltrey tune, was it Getty? Or
Oh, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
on. It's on his first solo album, right?
Right, correct. Which was originally Wrote All Night from the Ram sessions.
Yeah,
So and Girlfriend. I mean, lots and lots of songs that
but these
McCartney
were the
gave
ones that
away.
Tom and I chose there, but just the singles that came
Right.
out.
Yeah. These five were singles, and they're ranged from 74 to 84. So we'll just, and this is McCartney's heyday right here. This is like the height of his popularity too, during that, 74 to 84 period. So we're going to talk about that. But first, let's just, we got one news item, and that's, I want to thank Serge for our friend Serge for,
Surge, yeah.
yeah. And he just let me know that there was a new cover of Silly Love Songs that just came out. This was on February 11th. And this is by Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis Jr. And it's okay. It's not bad. I mean, it's feels like it could have been released in 78, 79, back in the those great disco years. If you're a fan of that kind of music, there's a really cool bass line in there, and the singing is not bad on it, but I don't think it's anything better than the original. I mean, I think this Paul's version is perfect, as is. I don't think it could ever be made better, but this isn't a
Oh,
bad
not
version.
like that Broad Street version that we talked about last week.
No, but he's to blame for that. He is to blame
Oh,
for that, right?
he
So
is.
you can just type in Silly Love Songs, type in Marilyn McCoo, Billy Davis Jr., and you'll get directed right towards that cover if you want to check it out. Which it's okay. I posted it on the Facebook page a couple weeks ago, so it's there for you guys to check out if you want. But again,
Yeah,
thank you for
the news is pretty quiet now.
yeah,
McCartney 3
exactly.
is that wave has I think crashed, and it's we're now into late February, and he's kind of just he's laying low right now in term until the Beatles stuff kicks up.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, we'll definitely. I believe we're going to get the Plastic Ono box set probably in April. I think they're going to announce it in March coming up. Obviously, like we've got the Ringo EP coming up in March. So I kind of like this calm before the storm. You're giving the wallet a little bit of a much needed break. Even though
Yes.
we are still buying things,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. We're not buying
but
those.
these
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right. But these mega box sets, they can be expensive. And then what, I think it was like 159 tracks for this Plastic Ono Band box set.
And Yoko's stuff is on it,
Yeah,
right?
Yoko stuff, I believe, is on it, which is understandable because John is playing on those tracks as well, which
That's gonna
I'm
be
fine with.
that's gonna
I'm
cause a lot. That's gonna cause a lot of controversy amongst a lot.
fine. Fooey on that. I
I,
say,
I I don't know. Keep it. Listen, I believe it should be separate. The albums came out as separate. They should be separate.
even though John played on those tracks,
Yes, Yoko Ono Plastic Ono Band, John Lennon Plastic Ono Band. Two different projects.
fair, okay.
Lumping it all into one box now, I think is not a fair decision. I think
Well, they were the Plastic Ono Band. I
then
mean,
those albums should have been a double album. Then
fair enough. Okay.
it should have been a
I
double
see
album.
your
Then.
point there. I take your point. And
You know,
that would have been interesting if that was a double album.
that's the concept that's being shoved
Yeah.
down our throats now. If that was the case, then, and I understand that the covers were the same, with obviously just a little bit of a difference.
Right,
But
right.
and they all the same people played on John's, played on Yoko's. I get that, but put it out. They should have just put it out together as one, but that didn't happen. So now, hey, it's still going to be a great set.
Right.
We
Yeah,
know it.
yeah. I mean, yeah, true. And it would have just kept in fashion of what they were doing. I know you got, those first three experimental records from John and Yoko.
Yeah.
I think that would have been really interesting. I think that's a pretty interesting point that you bring up about, making those two albums a double album rather than, keeping them separate. And it would have been funny to see how that would have been received if that was a double album. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that is interesting if you looked at it that way.
Hmm.
But who knows? Record company pressure at the time. They had done 3 experimentals, and he probably figured, or they were like, it's high time you do a proper record.
Right, right.
So they may not have gone for it, but then again,
Hmm.
they again they kind of threw caution to the wind with Lennon stuff. They acquiesced to him and her quite a bit.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, they let her do
Two double albums.
2 double albums. And Paul couldn't get Red Rose Speedway to be a double. Yeah, we've talked about this.
Anyways,
But yeah.
but when was the last time are you still listening to McCartney 3? When was the last time you listened to it?
A little bit of
Yeah.
a break. I probably haven't listened to it probably in close to 2 weeks or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
You?
listened to it last week at work while I was at work.
On your phone or
on the iPod. I
okay.
transferred it
Oh,
over
you
to
put
the
it all,
iPod.
you put it on.
Yeah, I put it all over there, and it still sounds fresh to me only because of the fact that I'm not overdoing it. I'm not getting fatigued on it. I'm not like playing it nonstop like I have with other
stuff.
other stuff like I did with Driving Rain. As a matter of fact, I mean, when I first brought Driving Rain, it was just like it was in the car. It was in the because I had I had a cassette player in my truck at the time, so I was just like
you had the cassette.
Yes, I had the cassettes.
Do you still have it?
No.
Oh,
I know.
That's a score.
Yeah. Especially what people are trying to sell it for on eBay. It's ridiculous.
What's the cassette going for?
I've seen some over $60
for the cassette.
Cassettes.
Man, somebody has Hunyadi's Driving Rain cassette somewhere. And it's probably sitting in some garage in a pile of crap, and nobody even knows what it is.
No one knows what it is. It's in a bread box somewhere. Somebody's summer home or something.
Damn, so you had that on cassette. Oof.
Yeah. Cassette and CD, yeah. However, I wasn't buying vinyl at the time, and I didn't even realize that it would have came out on vinyl in 2001,
Oh, yeah.
Especially where vinyl was in 2001, which was pretty much dead in the water.
It was. If you lived in the right market, though, you could get it.
Yeah, that's true. And luckily McCartney was still, pressuring the studios to release, his material on vinyl.
A name with his power. You say, look, run 10,000 of these off worldwide. I know it's the CD age,
right.
Run 10,000. I don't even know how many were pressed, but that anywhere from that, like, early 90s to What do you say? When do you say vinyl resurgence really kicked in after 2010?
Oh, it's 2010. Yeah, probably just a little before that, I would say, but 2010 are really starting with that. I mean, especially with the when people started getting familiar with Record Store Day, a lot of artists were participating in Record Store Day, releasing special stuff. So
Yeah,
I think that was really a big help for records for vinyl.
sure. I mean, I just went into my local Barnes and Nobles yesterday,
Right.
and actually, I don't go. I mean, and the vinyl is not just like a little rack. Like you go to
No,
a Best Buy, there's like only like
right.
10 records. Barnes and Nobles has a ton
There's
of,
actually a couple rows
yeah,
of
rows,
vinyls.
like
Yeah.
A to Z, like
Right.
not just like 20 records, like hundreds of records, brand new
Right.
records, Barnes and
Hmm.
Nobles. But all probably $30 and up. It's
Yeah, I mean, they do have some reasonably priced. I know they'll do some half off stuff from time to time, but yeah, I mean, Barnes and Nobles do tend to be a little bit more on the expensive side. I've noticed
right.
over the
But I
years.
mean, again, where if you don't have like where you are, you have a lot of great mom and pop stores, which is great.
Right.
Where I am, there's not. So if anybody's a vinyl connoisseur, they'll go and they'll buy their vinyl at a
Right.
B&N.
Right. Especially since I mean, a lot of people are reissuing their stuff right now. So I mean, especially if it's a popular title, Barnes and Noble, there's a good chance Barnes and Nobles is going to have it.
Yeah, but even over the last like I would say 2, 3, 4 years, the amount of vinyl in Barnes and Nobles is
Hmm.
it's quadrupled in
Right.
volume now, which
Agreed.
is
Agreed. I'm
nice to
really
see.
surprised. I mean, because Best Buy is selling vinyl now
Yeah,
too,
but not too
but
many. It's like
just no, not
it's
to.
like Target. It's like, oh,
Right.
here's 10
There's a
records.
couple. Right. Right. It's nowhere near what Barnes and Nobles is.
No, not at all. And I didn't even see any McCartney 3 there either. So
Yeah, I'm really surprised that they didn't save some copies for in-store purchase on McCartney 3 for Barnes and Nobles.
yeah.
Target did, luckily. I did see the price of the Barnes and Nobles blue vinyl on eBay come down a bit. The Coke bottle one though is still the Spotify version is still in the hundreds.
Really?
The yeah, anywhere from like 150 to $300 people are still trying to get for that Coke bottle Spotify vinyl.
eBay
So
or Discogs or
yeah,
yeah, eBay.
yeah, yeah.
Damn.
I am going to purchase my first 45 on Discogs here soon.
I hope so.
Yeah, yeah. Try to switch over to the Discogs here real soon. So, but they have as a band on the run picture disc. I'm sorry, picture sleeve 45 that I still need to purchase, and I found a couple.
Good
So
site, man. It's a good
yeah,
site.
yeah. So thank you for making me aware of that Discogs. So, but
You weren't aware before I told you?
well, I was aware of it. I just was never. I didn't really feel the need to go there. But then you're talking. The way you've been talking about it, and some others that have been talking about it over the course of the year. I've definitely checked it out. You
It
know,
could still, man, you could still buy eBay, but it's just another place to
right.
go where it's just solely records. It's
Yeah,
eBay
exactly. And
everything.
I have seen that their prices are a little bit more reasonable
A little bit.
there.
They are.
Which is nice.
Because
For a
a
change.
lot of people might just sell exclusively their online store through Discog. They don't even go to
Right.
eBay. So
Yeah, so what I mean, so do you do the whole Discog thing where you scan the barcode and then it's in your catalog and then
yep,
it kind of gives you an idea of what that out record is worth as well, right?
correct.
Okay.
Um, yeah, any vinyl, say from like whenever barcodes started going on records, which probably wasn't really
Right.
to the 80s.
Yeah.
You can do that. Any titles before that, you really have to you have to pull the labels out, the matrix, the dead wax,
Okay.
to figure out where it was pressed and what variant. So I started doing it a couple of years ago. Any vinyl and CDs that I have that are barcoded are in because that's easy. But
Right.
the stuff that doesn't have barcodes that takes a little that takes a little
But it
more
takes a little
time.
more time, a little more
It
time
take
and
Yeah, because
patience.
you got to go and then there's I mean as you go through Discogs, there's like you're amazing how many there's like 300 versions of the same album
Right, right.
from the original year the album was released. Say, for instance, take I don't know, take Abbey Road, right? I mean, there's
Mhm.
you got to go through like 500 versions of Abbey Road to maybe find your pressing that you're looking at, and did it come from Jacksonville? Did it come from Scranton? Did it come from? Is it? It's there's so many like cat that you
Right.
have to really. So it's a hobby. It's time consuming, but it's something that I've picked up a little bit in since 2020, obviously.
Right.
But you should
Very good.
definitely. I'll help you out with it if you want to start doing it.
Yeah, maybe come April or something.
Springtime, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Stay tuned, people.
Yeah, that'll be cool. That'll be cool. So, but all right, getting to today's topic, really kind of interesting. I mean, you look at the fact that, you see all these other artists that took stuff from Lennon McCartney during the Beatles heyday, especially in that 63, 64, 65 era. A lot of songs written by Lennon McCartney that did well for other artists. You got your, Billy J. Kramer's, your Peter and Gordon's, your Cilla Black. I mean, a lot of these people, were all in the same camp. And then, Lennon McCartney was like, here, we'll spread the wealth a little bit, so, and those songs did well. Um, However, come the solo years, when they're separate and they're giving away songs, they're not really necessarily did as well. So I was really curious to see, talk about, did their name have as much weight to them as when they were a band, when the Beatles were a group. And it doesn't really, when you look at the chart success, during the solo years, it really doesn't, reflect that, so but songs that they gave to other acts that did well. You look at Step Inside Love for Cilla Black. I mean, that was for 67. That was a number 8
Mhm.
hit, a top 10 hit. You got I'll Keep You Satisfied, Billy J. Kramer.
With Billy
uh,
J.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was a UK number 4 hit. And these are songs that Paul mainly wrote. Obviously they're Lennon McCartney songs,
Right,
but
but
they
they're
were
mainly
basically
Paul songs.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. Like Dreamers Do, the Applejacks, that was a UK top 20. Not all of them were successful though. I mean, you got, Love of the Love, that was 35. It's not all of them were like these mega hits that made, mass
Oh,
stars out of
it
these
only
people.
got to 35. Damn.
Yes, right. It wasn't that top 10, you know. So, but then that, and then obviously we know the success of Goodbye for
Mary
Mary
Hopkins,
Hopkins,
sure.
and then, Come and Get It, for Badfinger. Those were massive
That's
hits.
probably the gold standard track in terms of like songs so that they gave away to other people. I
Right.
would say that probably that has during that Beatles era, that has to be the probably the most commercial song they gave away that was a hit.
That could Come and Get It, you think?
What else would there have been?
Yeah. Maybe A World Without Love.
Well, that too, yeah. World
I mean,
Without
that was a
Love.
number 1 hit. I
Yeah,
mean, that was,
World Without
you
Love
know,
obviously is number one, but I gotta think Come and
right.
Get It. Actually, probably now more people know Come and Get It though than World Without Love
Right.
because the staying power of Come and Get It, it's
True, true. And the funny thing
commercialized.
is, yeah, World Without Love was the number 1 hit in the UK and the US, so that was a pretty big
There
deal,
is a little bit. Have you
for
heard?
Peter
There is a
Gordon.
little demo out there floating out there.
Yes, right.
Pretty good.
And then there's versions of the Beatles. I mean, the Beatles doing these songs too. You got
Sure.
That Means a Lot out there. You got obviously the Step Inside Love, which is on the anthology.
Mythology, sure.
And then I think it was on the White Album box set too, the full length version of Step Inside Love with
Less paranoias.
Paranoias. Yes, thank you. So yeah, I mean, there's versions of that out there as well. So, but let's get into the Paul solo career, because
Yeah.
then, come 74, there's 3 singles that come out in 74 that,
Are all
yeah, they're McCartney pen
McCartney
tunes,
songs,
you
all that
know?
same year, which is interesting.
Right, right. And then plus another song, like I said earlier, Peggy Lee's Let's Love, which not, the album comes out, I think, in 74, but that song is not released as a single.
Right.
But let's start off with the track called 4th of July, which was by John Christie from 1974. Now I believe it's credited to Paul and Linda McCartney, but obviously, I mean, you got to believe that this was mainly, Paul. you know, there is a demo of Paul doing this track, and that's on the
which
Venus
Venus and
and
Mars,
Mars archive set. Yeah.
which as a fan, I was not even aware of this song until the Venus and Mars set came out.
Really? Oh
Did not
wow.
did not
Okay.
know the John Christie's. Did you?
Right. Yes, yes, I did because
You
it
knew that
was yeah
you
we had
knew it.
talked about because I think Ken Michaels had played it on his radio show
And,
at some time before, so I
okay.
was aware of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I did not know a thing
Yeah.
about this till I got Venus and Mars. I'm like, oh, what's this track? And
Right.
but John Christie's version is pretty nice.
It's not bad. It's produced by Dave Clark of
Dave Clark of
Dave
and
Clark
Mike
5.
Smith. Yeah.
Yeah. Fame. So, from my understanding, was Dave did reach out to Paul and ask, I got this new upcoming kid. Can you give him a song? Fourth of July was that song, and it's not bad. I mean, the finished version of John Christie's Fourth of July, I still don't think is anywhere near as good as Paul's demo of Fourth of
No,
July,
no.
just because.
It's a nicely
Yeah,
produced record.
right? Yeah, true.
It's
But
mid 70s softy.
yeah, singer-songwriter era type of song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But Paul's vocal, the way he delivers the vocal
Oh,
on Fourth of July, I think is just
better than
ten
this.
times better.
Sorry,
Yeah.
John, and I didn't even know who
Right.
John Christie is. So, John,
Right.
sorry, but
Yeah.
it's a good song. I didn't realize this is Paul and Linda
Well,
credited.
yeah. And when you go to on YouTube, when you go type in John Christie Fourth of July, you'll see the images
That's
on the
what
video. They
I have it up.
change.
I have it up right
Right.
now.
Right, and then on the back of the sleeve, it'll say written
Written by
by
Paul and
Paul
Linda.
and Linda McCartney. Right, right. Which you got to say would probably would have been a big hit, would have been a big help, for that track. However, not being there, I don't know how well they pushed, that song, if radio stations were behind it, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
So,
he was signed to Capitol, so
right.
there was some power there. I didn't again. Didn't know the song. I didn't even know John Christie. So is he known for anything else?
He's got a couple other songs that are on YouTube that you can watch, a couple other singles. But I'm not aware of what album this would have been on. There's not a lot of information on John
No,
Christie out there. So,
no. Yeah, but it's McCartney Music Inc. A good old ATV.
yep.
This was still tied up in all that too.
Yes, yes, that's true.
So
That's true.
this is one of those songs that falls under that
Right.
umbrella still.
Yeah. So, but now here's the thing: is like I was also playing around on YouTube last night, doing some other research, and if you type in the making of the James Paul McCartney special, there's about 50 minutes of audio of the photo shoot scene from the James Paul McCartney special. So it's just outtakes of that specific scene, and then you do get like a quick 3-minute segment of him singing "Why Are You Crying?" It's the 4th of July or whatever. So,
Oh,
just a real quick little segment. He's going through all these other songs. Mama's Little Girl, Bluebird. Blackbird,
Blackbird.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
So Heart of the Country. So he
We
just
get on the
does.
bus and
Yeah. So he just gives you like a quick, 3-second, version of that. But I really like Paul's version that he gave us on the archive edition. So really
I
good.
like John Christie's though too. I mean, I didn't
Right.
know it until I heard it until we were preparing for the show. I didn't hear
Right.
it. I like it. Paul's version is way better, of
Yeah.
course, but I like John Christie's version. It's nicely
Yeah.
produced and
Right.
good job of Dave Clark on
Right.
that one.
So let me ask you then: would you rather have Paul kept this one for himself to release, or are you fine with him giving this one away?
Oh, keep. He should have kept
Yeah.
this for himself.
Yeah. I did too, because I think it would have been a nice fit on like maybe a Venus and Mars,
I don't know if this fits on that.
or maybe even London Town.
I
But
could see it fitting
yeah,
on that,
right.
or
Yeah.
even Speed of Sound.
Speed of Sound, yeah, okay, I can see that as well. Because he does keep songs in his back pocket for years, at a time
Yeah,
before he releases
I
them.
I think Speed of Sound. If any album needed some extra help, it could have been Speed of
Speed
Sound.
of Sound.
As you just found out, you just finally got the archive
Right.
collection on
Well,
vinyl.
on vinyl.
On
I mean,
vinyl.
I've had the CD and box set for some time. So,
Rookie,
yeah,
rookie,
yeah, yeah,
rookie,
yeah.
rookie. But anyway, that album's
Shut
only.
it.
I call it like I see it. There's only three sides, but that song could have done very well on Speed of Sound. Low
I
key,
think so.
mellow production. I think
Right.
either that one or London Town. But again, he gave it away. What do you think? You would have.
I would have been happy if he kept this one for himself. My
Of
myself.
course, yeah.
You know. Only because so you see the potential of the song for on Paul's demo, especially his vocal delivery on this song. I just
Maybe
think
something kind of gets lost with it because the song's called Fourth of July, but
right,
it doesn't really have any kind of patriotic overtones to the whole thing at all. It's kind of just,
right,
why am I crying? It's the Fourth of July.
right,
Fourth of July,
right,
you think, Stars and Stripes Forever. Dun,
right,
dun,
right,
dun,
right.
dun, 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 dun.
Yeah,
And you don't hear this song isn't any of that.
right. And
So
plus, and then to your point, having it on Speed of Sound 76, that's 200th anniversary,
bicentennial, right?
bicentennial, right? Exactly. So may have been a good time to may have been a good album to put that on. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good
So
point. Yeah.
yeah, it was nice revisiting this track, and again, learning something, not even knowing John Christie's version before you and
Right.
I came up with this show. So yeah, good version.
Yeah. Not a bad vocalist. Not a
No,
bad vocalist. Okay, let's move on to the next track, and that is Mine for Me from
Rod the
the
Mod,
Rod the Mod from the album Smiler.
Smiler.
Yeah, produced by Rod. I believe this was his fifth album. And
One of the cooler covers is with the whole kilt thing going on
oh, you
there.
like the cover?
I like the kilt look. I'm not the photo of Rod is not
Right.
great, but I like the kilt. The kilt.
Right, right. So this would have been like the cod piece right here with
We could lose Rod's photo, but I like
right,
that.
right.
It's a Smiler. Yeah,
Hmm.
this is the album that has Sailing on it, right?
No, wait a minute. Let me double check. Sailor, not sailing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I right.
Rod, Rod does a cover of the Girl from North Country on this one, which is not bad. He does a cover of Bring It On Home to Me, You
Oh,
Send
okay.
Me, which is pretty good. Let Me Be Your Car, which is a Elton John, Barry Toppin song. So okay album. I think it's the weakest of of the first 5 albums that he released. But it's got Mine for Me, which and I should point out that just should point out that 4th of July did not chart.
Did
So
not chart.
to the point that we're trying to make, that McCartney songs, just because it has the McCartney name on it, it doesn't mean it's going to be a guaranteed hit.
Right.
So then Mine for Me. Okay, so again, written by some say Paul McCartney. There's some info that I've seen that says Paul and Linda McCartney. So you could go either way with it, because this is still right around that time where all these songs were written by Paul and Linda McCartney.
Sure.
So but Mine for Me, again, produced by Rod Stewart. Pretty cool thing. Rotten Faces were on tour in late 74. It's called like the Christmas tour, and on November 27th, Paul and Linda came out on stage and did backing vocals for Rod on this. And there is a short segment on YouTube that you can see on them doing that. And then that performance ended up airing on NBC's Midnight Special later on in the year as well, I think in 74. So I don't know if you're familiar with the Midnight Special that
Oh, sure.
aired in the 70s.
Yep.
Pretty good, really some really good performances throughout the heyday of that show. But I think it's really Rod's vocals that make this track his own. So for me, it's hard hearing Paul sing this after hearing Rod's vocals on this, because I've known about this probably since the late 80s, I want to say. So this is like
Okay.
one of the songs that Paul gave away that I've known about for the
You've known
longest.
about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just because I've been a big Rod Stewart fan for a long time. So
I like it. I don't. Again, this is a song I think I'm okay with him giving this one away. I think you are too.
no, I'm right there with you.
Because to hear Paul do it after Rod do it in his way, it just
You can't. It's his vocals. Rod's vocals are so so embedded in my brain, that to hear Paul doing a version of this,
yeah,
right?
you can't think of Paul and Lindy. I mean, hey, maybe Maybe there's a version of it laying around
And that's
somewhere.
the thing, you would have figured that Paul probably would have sent him a demo of this just for like a run through demo. Here's how it would go. Now you run with
Well,
it.
maybe they worked on it in
Yeah,
the studio. I mean, he's on the session. He's on
right.
backing. He's
Hmm.
credited as backing vocals.
Yeah. So
Uh, maybe
yeah,
they just hey, that might have just you don't know if guys gave them the demo or they said, oh, we're gonna get to the studio. Oh, here's the
right,
song and here's how it goes.
right,
That
right.
that could have been this case. I mean, I haven't read too many Rod biographies. Has he spoken about this experience working with Paul?
No, no, none that I've seen. I was trying to look it up in this Beatles After the Breakup book. I was looking
Yeah,
in,
I looked last night too. I didn't see.
Eight
I
Arms
thought
to Hold You.
nothing. Right?
Right. Yeah, not much.
Yeah,
So
there's a nice photo from this period though. I think from that concert, you see Paul. It's with Paul,
yes,
Linda, and Rod. It's a nice
yeah,
photo.
yeah. And plus he performed this on Top of the Pops, I believe. So there is a video of actually of you can see him do this song, in several different places on YouTube.
What did this chart?
Okay, this charted at it was a US single and it was the second single for the album and it charted at 91.
So
So
yeah,
not very good.
no, and I see it's I see here it's buried at the end of side 2 here on the album.
Right. Well, actually, yeah, it's the last song. It closes the album.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Top 100. So it came out in November of '74. October, yeah,
Yeah.
came out in November of '74. Yeah, I mean it's not a song that screams commercial hit. It's not like hearing Jet,
Right.
it's not. It's an okay song.
You
So
see, this would have been like the second tier ballad, maybe from Paul for me, if he did
if he
end
had
up
done it,
releasing, if he released it himself, only because I don't think he could have delivered. I mean, it's just it's Rod's song. After hearing it, I mean, all you had to do was hear it once from Rod, and it's Rod's song. It ruins any possibility of me liking a McCartney demo
a
or something.
McCartney version. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Although if a McCartney demo surfaced, I'm sure that we would like it.
Oh, absolutely. We like it, buy it, play it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's one of those songs too, because Stewart has such a distinctive voice.
Right.
If you don't know that McCartney wrote this song, you're thinking it's a Rod Stewart song
Absolutely. Absolutely.
because his voice is it's so unique that he could do any song. You think, oh, that's just a Rod Stewart song, but sure enough, he's covering, and he's done loads of covers. But
Oh, Rod Stewart has made a big career out of cover
his
songs. Yeah.
second had his second and third career by doing them.
Right.
Did
It's
you
Great American Songbook.
did
Yeah.
you get his most recent studio album?
Rod's?
Yeah.
No, no. I
Okay.
don't think I have an album past the 70s from Rod.
Oh, you don't?
No,
Okay.
no, I used to have the first box set I ever bought with my
Storyteller?
own money was Storytellers.
That's great.
Love that box set. However, Mine for Me is not on that box set.
No, it's not. But his new album came out, I want to say a year or two ago. Like he had that period where like he was doing the standard stuff
Yeah, he was
because
doing the standards, and then he did like a song, did an album of all rock covers. The softer rock covers.
right. So
You
yeah,
know.
that was good too. But then he kind of got his career going again. Blood Red Roses, which was a new one. It came out
Okay.
came out in 2018. And apparently it's really good.
Okay. Cool.
Blood Red
I'll
Roses.
look into it.
Yeah, that's it there.
Ah,
Yeah, but it's it's worth a shot. Check it
I'll
out.
check it out.
Good
Yeah.
old Rod, or is what does Elton call him Phyllis, and they have names for each other. Elton and
Because they're big friends. I mean, they're
right.
huge friends. Yeah.
Oh, Phyllis and something or other. They have these names they
Okay.
call each other. Oh boy, yeah. Have you ever seen him?
Rod Stewart.
Yeah.
I sure have. First concert at Old Tiger Stadium. Yeah, saw him live. It was pretty cool. He was the band started playing Do You Think I'm Sexy, and I'm going, oh my god, this is great. And then he stopped, and then it was like they were like a good 15 20 seconds into the song, and then he goes, no, stop, I don't do that song anymore. I was
Wow.
so bummed. I was really bummed. But good show. Yeah, really good. I think this was 94. I want to say this
Okay.
was. Yeah, yeah, kicked a couple soccer balls out into the
Yeah,
crowd,
of course.
lost, got lost, forgot where I parked the car afterwards.
Yeah, I'm sure. He's supposed to play this summer, and he's supposed to
Yeah.
be coming to Jersey. And
Oh, cool.
having not seen him before, I would really, really like to
Oh, I
go.
would definitely recommend seeing Rod
So,
live. Yeah.
if it happens, who knows still, but he's supposed
Right.
to tour this summer, and I'll
Right.
definitely go check him out.
Cool. All right. So yeah, unfortunately, mine for me charted at 91. Again, the weight of the McCartney name really didn't help carry the track. So
No, did not,
yeah,
91, and it's middle of the road.
right,
Middle of the road. Nice. It's a nice track. It's about it.
right. Gotcha. Okay,
Next up,
let's move to again 1974 still, and that's Leave It. And this is on the right here. It's the McGear album right here. This is which people
for brother Michael.
Yes, which a lot of people call the Lost Wings album. You got Denny, you got Linda, Paul. Obviously, you got the first appearance of Jimmy McCullough working with Paul on this album. You also got another Wings member on this one. Do you know who that would be?
Uh, Henry McCulloch.
No, actually, Denny Sywell is on the song Leave It because they did this song before Denny left the band.
Oh wow.
So this song "Leave It" was
Goes
pretty
back.
much, yeah, it goes back to 73. So this track was pretty much a way the way to for they presented it to Warner Brothers, and this track helped Warner Brothers to sign McGear to a
Wow.
contract. So yeah, yeah. So and it was also the start of this album, the McGear album as well. I mean, they people liked this track so much that they said, hey, let's make a proper album out of it. So you've got again 74, produced by McCartney. Um, let's see. Yeah, like I said, the song led to McGear being signed to Warner Brothers. Now, Warner Brothers had just signed McGear, and they also signed Badfinger that same year. So, there's could be some, you know, thing where they're trying to say, okay, we're going to sign Badfinger, we're going to sign McGear. Maybe we can persuade McCartney to sign to
Mhm.
Warner Brothers after his contract was,
That might have been
you know,
the motivation.
right.
Maybe.
Could be. So, but again, this track by with lead vocals by his brother Michael. I've been a big fan of this song. I really enjoy it a lot. It was only released in the UK as the A side. Now it was released on the B side in America from a song that wasn't even on the album, which was pretty crazy. But sometimes we don't get things right where the UK does. But what are your thoughts on the song? I mean,
Leave it. I like it. I don't love the track.
mm,
I kind of wish I could have heard Paul. This is one I wish Paul would have kept for himself.
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, to me, it has like it sounds a little bit BTO-ish,
Mm.
not BTO, Boston.
Okay. Really?
Sounds like Boston.
Oh, wow.
He sounds like the singer of Boston here a little bit to me.
Mm.
Just
Okay.
a little bit. Not the production, just the singing, just the vocal delivery style to me sounds like it's like a Boston outtake.
Mm. Interesting.
It to me, it does. I've never been a huge big fan of the McGear album. I know
Right.
it in passing. I'm not big into it. I know there's a lot of big fans out there of it.
Right. Yeah.
Um, it definitely is the Lost Wings album for sure. But I think I would have loved to have heard Paul's version of this, and I think I probably would have liked it better if he had done it.
Interesting. Yeah. Me, I think this is what is a good song for Paul to give away, which he did. Obviously, he gave to to the brother. Um, yeah, to hear a Paul version of this would be definitely be interesting, and maybe he did do a demo. Not sure, but I don't think it would have those the crazy horns that the big horn solo that you
Right.
hear at the beginning of the song. Who knows if that would have been there, but it's a good song nonetheless. I mean, it did go to 36 in the UK, so not bad.
No.
Of all the songs that we're talking about today, this was the hot. This song charted the highest, whether it was in the US or the
Or the
UK.
UK. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, but all in all, like I said, I really enjoy the song. But I'm fine with Paul giving this one to his
Okay.
brother. So, but you're still up in the air about this album, right? You're not really
Yeah. I'm
never
not.
been.
I've never been a big fan of it. I just
Mm,
can't get into it. And maybe I need to give it a proper re-listen.
right.
It's been re-released again. Wasn't it a record store day thing?
Yeah. No, no. It was re-released in 2 years ago.
Okay.
Actually, no. Yeah, 2019. This is the box set. Now you could get this, or you can get the vinyl. So I ended up getting both. And you can get it to where he would sign something like a little postcard,
Oh.
McGear.
So
So I
what are the contents of the box of the box set?
and great box. So you got obviously the remastered album on disc one. Disc two, you have outtakes and oddities. You have a longer version of this song, "Leave It," on here. You
Okay.
have B sides, stuff that wasn't on the album that were A sides, singles. In the U.S. I believe Sea Breezes, I believe Sea Breezes. What? No, Sweet Baby was the bonus track to. I'm sorry, the B side to "Leave It" in the UK. So that's on the first disc.
It
But
looks like a nice set. Who put it out? What label put it out there?
this is. Oh man, good question. I completely forgot the name of this company that put it at ER. Yeah, I'll have to look that up and let you know.
Okay. Es-
ESOTERI.
Esoteric.
Esoteric, yeah, recordings.
Esoteric.
Yeah.
They do a lot of archival stuff.
Right, right. And then
Um,
this was also released, I think, in the early 2000s as well, reissued in the
yeah.
early 2000s. Right.
It's been that one that's just I've been aware of it for
Right.
decades. I just haven't had any no I haven't had any reason to dive into it because he's not singing on it.
Right. And it's funny you mentioned that too, because the first time I listened to this album like 10 years ago, I didn't care for it either. Um, but it was like on the second and third listen, because I really loved the second side, the flip side to this album. Love it. I mean, every song, every track. And then, with the help of "Leave It" on the first side, I started really liking the
More of it. Yeah.
right. And then you really get to appreciate Jimmy's playing, because he's got some great guitar work on this album. So I mean, I think there's a lot to like. And then there's also a DVD in there that has two really long interviews with Mike, because the guy, you know, he doesn't stop.
Who, the interviewer or Mike?
Mike.
Oh.
Yeah, Mike is a chatter.
That doesn't have the interview where he tells the guy about the whole Paul's dead thing and he tells him off.
No, that's not on here. That's not
Oh,
on here. But that is on
that's
YouTube.
great. That's
Right.
great.
And it does have the promotional film for the song "Leave It"
All
on
right.
here
All
as
right.
well
You
too.
you
So
you've got me convinced.
right,
I will give it a proper listen.
right. Please
Get
do,
back to you.
please do. Yeah, please do, because I think it's a very worthy album. And I think Mike is a pretty good vocalist as well. I mean, obviously he's not as talented as Paul, but there's some good stuff on it. You know. Okay, so like I said, that was 36. I think he did the right thing by giving it away, and you thought Paul should have kept this one himself, right?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. All right, let's move on
Moving
to
on to, are we up to Ringo now?
We are Ringo, 1981, "Private Property," which again, written by.
Saxophones
Oh,
galore.
the horns are massive. I mean, they really just turned up the horns on this one.
It's like taking a page out of George's book here with like,
Right.
like this
Right.
song or something.
Right, right, right. So, again, produced by McCartney, album from the Stop and Smell the Roses album.
My favorite Ringo album, by the way.
Right. Okay. Really? Stop and
Yes,
Smell the Roses is your favorite. There
it
you
is.
go. Right
It
there, my
is.
friend. It is a good album. I think Rack My Brain is
Oh,
terrific. However, I think Private Property was was the lead off single for this. It should have been Rack My Brain,
it
in
should
my
have been.
opinion. You know, Rack My Brain is the more exciting song, I think, on
Thank
here.
you, George.
Yes, yes, thank you. Drumming My Madness is a little silly.
That's a little
Um, yeah, because there really isn't any inspiring drumming
drumming
on
is my
that track.
madness.
Originally called "You Can't Fight Lightning," Paul donated two songs and then produced another song on here, "Sure to Fall." He also
Great.
gave him the song "Attention," you know, which is, you know, probably the weaker of the two.
See, I love that song.
You like "Attention"?
I love Attention.
Really? Okay, fair
Yes.
enough. Fair enough.
I want a McCartney demo of that to be on to come out somewhere one day and be like, there it is. I love that song Attention. Even
Fair
Ringo
enough.
vocals of it. So yeah, but yeah, I think Rack My Brain definitely should have been the lead off, not Private Property.
Right, right. So now, okay, the song itself, like you said, you mentioned the horns. Obviously, do do do. I mean, it just leads off with these massive horns,
Oh,
and it's throughout. You know, not the biggest fan. Now, I love horns. However, they would have just like brought it down just a
you don't
touch
like
because those
80s.
horns are
You
really
don't like 80s horns, as I've learned.
no, 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 no. Love 80s horns. It's just I don't think the solo Beatles utilize them as well, specifically Paul. I don't think he utilized them as well as he could in the 80s. Now I love what he did with the set, you know,
Yeah.
Venus and Mars.
Venus
They're
and
all over.
Mars. Right,
Love what
right.
he did with those, and you know, and then obviously silly love songs and whatnot. But you know, it's okay. It's the song unfortunately did not chart.
Uh,
So yeah, exactly. So it didn't do anywhere near as well as Rack My Brain, and which I think was which was Ringo's last top 40 hit. Was Rack My
Rack
Brain.
My Brain. Yeah.
Right, right, right. So his singing is fine on it, and I'm gonna say that I'm kind of glad that he gave Ringo this song. I don't think this is a really strong song to begin with. So I'm perfectly fine giving this to Ringo. I mean, there's a really fun video for this promotional film, if you want, called The
The
Cooler.
Cooler.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was directed by Kevin Godley of
10cc.
10cc
Yep.
fame. You know, so but the video I think is more enjoyable
Then the song.
than the
Totally.
song itself.
I totally
You
agree
know,
with you. Yeah, this
yeah,
is a song that
yeah.
I was very happy. Yeah, this is one he could have given away. Couldn't see Paul doing this one himself.
Right,
You know, it was definitely kind of lower quality for him.
right.
I don't know if he meant that to be for Ringo, but it's just not a great didn't chart. So
Yeah.
and this album was just ravaged from the start. It was going to come out
Oh,
as
absolutely.
Can't Fight Lightning, and then the
Lightning. Right.
CBS dropped him and ended up coming out on Boardwalk,
Right.
which was a short-lived label for a while. And then I think basically, which I think is just a subsidiary of RCA. I think
I got it
um,
right here.
the original. That's
Yeah,
the
this is the
yeah
original. This
yeah
was Boardwalk, you know,
Boardwalk.
which you should see
Yeah
right there.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. So but yeah, this is. It sounds all very like those saxes. It just sounds all very like Saturday Night Live. You know,
Right,
hey, you're
right.
watching Saturday Night Live.
Now the funny thing, and I really wanted to talk to Juber about this,
Oh man.
but his name, I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I
They
see it.
spelled it Tuber.
Lawrence Tuber.
Yeah,
Oh boy. Boy.
both times.
Both times.
I
Yeah.
think he's on it. Yeah. Lawrence Tuber on guitars for Attention, and then let me see for about Sure to Fall. Yeah, so three times he's.
3 times. And of course, you know, we have the first of many recovers of Back Off Boogaloo on
Oh,
this
oh
record.
yes, 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 yes.
Oh, we got Howie Casey. Howie Casey's on this one. So
Right. Yeah. So I mean, it's a good, great lineup.
That's why
of
I like it. You
musicians.
got the George.
Right.
You got everybody kind of they were working on it. See, that's kind
Right.
of why where I have
Right.
it. John was going to help out for this album
Yeah.
too,
Exactly. Right.
and then they all kind of got together with him after John died.
Mm.
And so to me, it's like the Ringo album from '73, Part Two. But
Right.
that's
Fair enough.
why
Fair enough.
that's
Yeah.
why I haven't ranked it high.
I love You've Got a Nice Way. One of my favorite tracks on the song. You got Steven Stills producing. We're helping out. You got Harry, his good buddy Harry,
Yep.
on this album, producing and co-writing. So again, like you said, this is like Ringo and Goodnight Vienna, where he's got all of his friends here,
Yeah.
helping him out, and it works on this one. Not every track works on here, so I would say probably of the 10 original cuts on here, I would say probably 7 of them are good to great,
Yeah.
in a way,
I'll agree with that.
yeah. So
It was coming out of his late '70s Ringo, a very tough period for him
oh yeah.
commercially.
Oh, definitely early '80s as well. I mean, there's interviews from him on TV shows that you can watch on YouTube where he's totally annihilated, and you can
Yeah.
tell, which
I
is a
mean, you
shame.
can't even get old wave. I think in certain countries.
No. I think it was only Germany and Canada where you could
And
you could buy it originally.
and
Yeah,
that's a good record too.
I think so. I think
You know,
so. Yeah.
so
But you were fine with
I
Paul
was,
giving.
I was okay to give this one away. Yeah,
Yeah.
couldn't see him
Yeah.
redoing this one and turning it into his a classic
Yeah.
McCartney album
Yeah.
track. Even. I couldn't
Yeah.
see that.
Especially during the tug of war era.
It just didn't jive with what he was doing
Right.
at that time. It was too too poppy, I guess. Although then again,
Hmm.
but so ballroom dancing is too. But it just it just doesn't have that. Doesn't to me it sounds like a Ringo song for a reason.
Right. No, I hear you. I hear you. All right, let's move on to the last track that we're going to talk about
Yeah.
today. And this is a really cool song, in my
Oh,
opinion. This is On the Wings of a Nightingale. This is the Everly Brothers, 1984. Again, this is like, 74, 84. This is like the peak, McCartney years, don't you think? In
oh,
terms of success, in
the
terms of
success.
success. Yeah.
Yes.
So produced by friend Dave Edmonds, and we all know Paul returned the favor by having to come on the Broad
Broad
Streets
Street. Yeah.
film.
Maybe we'll reach out to
Just
Dave and find out if he wants to talk.
right. Yeah, but from the album EB '84, this is the last Everly Brothers song
The chart.
to chart. Yeah, and at US number 50. So not bad. I mean, good for an act from the 50s, right?
Oh,
50s and 60s during their main heyday. So
it's just
for them
full.
to
It's just full of so much of that '80s production,
this,
though.
yeah, a little bit, but this is a gem of a song to
Oh,
me. I mean, there is a demo of McCartney doing it. You can't really tell exactly
uh,
pinpoint, but I think it's from the 70s. Myself.
see, I have it in my sources as like from around the early '80s.
Okay, from when he did that demo.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, and that would be great if that was
I
then.
mean, if it's true, I don't know, but
Yeah, exactly.
this is tough because the Everly's version is so good, but the version of Paul doing it, and it's on YouTube, the quality is not
Yes,
great. It's
not
really
great, but give it a little bit more attention. I think his vocals would have just soared, because they do soar in certain areas of the song. But if you give him like a couple more takes with it and let his vocals really
oh, I can
shine,
feel
I
something
yeah,
happening. Yeah.
that exactly that point in time of the song,
Oh, it's
and
yeah.
seeing this, I would have preferred Paul keep this one. You know, for the Everly Brothers. I mean, it's great the Everly Brothers made their little comeback there in '84, but they were never going to be heard of
It was.
again.
This is like this is
So,
their equivalent with the Righteous Brothers doing Rock and Roll Heaven again. Like,
they had their little revival, and then they're gone again.
Right.
And it's unfortunate, but I think Paul could have had a lot more success with this song, because again, I think it's a well written song, and it's, you got your 2.5, 2:30,
Perfect.
perfect
2:30.
length of
Perfect
a
length.
song.
It's got all.
Right,
It's got a verse. It's got a chorus. It's got a verse and a chorus. It's
right.
perfect song structure. Perfect melody. Great singing on it. I mean, can you imagine if this song was on Press to Play
Oh, forget about it.
in a really polished way?
Right. Yeah, with with
Oh,
with with Eric Stewart's backing vocals on there. I mean, those
forget
two
about it.
those two could have blended their vocals perfectly to this
You
to
know,
this
man,
song.
I think from my records, it looks like the demo was from around '83,
Okay, cool. All right.
but I don't know if that's accurate or not. But that,
Right.
from my sources, it says the demo is from '83. So, I
Okay,
mean,
because
even if
when you listen to it, he does sound younger. I mean, it does kind of the quality of the demo sounds kind of 70-ish
it
to me.
does, it does.
Right.
Maybe one of our people in the comments can tell
Right.
us when it actually was recorded, because it's not, to your knowledge, it's not in Mattinger or anything, is it?
Oh, they did talk about it in the yeah. I mean,
But
they did talk about,
is there a
right.
date?
There's no like he wrote the song specifics or anything like
Oh, but
that.
even just
There's right.
a rough date when he recorded
No.
the demo. No. Okay. Yeah, but I remember hearing that on a bootleg eons ago, thinking, well, this isn't
Yeah.
really the
Let
quality.
me yeah. Let me
The
double check
quality,
on
yeah, I
that.
remember hearing the quality isn't great, but damn, this is a nice song. In fact, when I first heard it, I thought it was him doing a cover of a cover. I thought it was him doing a cover of like an Everly Brothers song, a take on.
Right.
I didn't
Right.
know that he was actually just doing it in the style, you know, of the
Right.
Everlys. And then I'm like, no, actually, he wrote this song. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
I
There is a yeah, the additional home recordings dating, okay, there you go, dating August of 83.
That's what I thought.
Reportedly included an unheard composition. I remember days, Freckles, Make It to Victoria, Underwater Land, and Bum Raps and Badger Traps. So it was right around that time when he's got a whole bunch of demos there with songs that probably have never been released and never will be released.
In the same vein as It's Not
Yeah.
On.
Yeah.
All
Right.
right, so we both going to say this is one he should have kept. So if we're going to recap and you're keeping score at home, we covered 5 songs today that he
Hmm.
gave away during the '70s and early '80s. How many do we keep? How many do we give away? So we're going back to the beginning.
Yeah, so I'm keeping Fourth of July for Paul.
Right.
I'm giving mine to me, mine for me to Rod. I'm giving Leave It to Mike. I'm giving Private Property to Ringo, and I'm keeping On the Wings of the Nightingale. So I'm keeping two and giving away three.
Okay. I think I was what was I? Run them off again. What was the first one?
Okay, so first one we
4th of July.
have Fourth
We
of
both
July.
all keep. I
Keep
said Paul
right,
keep. Yep. Mine
right,
for me. Rod can keep it.
right. Leave It.
Um, Leave It.
I think you said keep. You wanted Paul to keep that one.
I wanted Paul to
Yeah.
do Leave It. Yeah, and then
Right. Private
Private
Property.
Property, Keep It
Give.
Richie, and
Right.
ever obviously Wings of a Nightingale. He definitely
Right.
should have kept. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So I think you're three for two. Yeah. So I think you're keeping
three
three and giving
giving
two
two
away.
away. You're
Yeah.
2-3, right?
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, chime in with in the comments. What are your thoughts? Did Paul's did the name alone, did it help carry these songs? I mean, obviously the results did not show that his name alone could help carry these tracks to greater chart success. You know what I'm saying? So
No, no, but again, and then as Tom mentioned at the top of the show, you talk about all those early Beatle tracks from that 60, 2 to 65. Well, really 60, the whole period really they gave
right,
away. Some of those songs were major hits. World Without
right,
Love, Come and Get It. So because they were written during the heyday of the Beatles, did
right,
they have a lot more power and juice to propel those songs or to the top of the chart, or were they just better songs? Like, is with obviously A World Without Love is classic. I mean,
right.
that's a classic song. Or was it because of it was in the '70s and they just maybe the songs were just not that great.
Yeah, the quality of these songs, these 5 songs. I mean, not all of them. Like I think On the Wings of the Nightingale might be the best.
I,
Might be the best of the bunch here,
I would agree.
maybe.
I
And
think I would agree with that. Yeah.
So did that deserve a little bit more attention? Probably. But here's the thing too. I mean, do these bands do they want it known that it's a McCartney track? You know what I'm saying? That do they want it to,
Well,
they want that attention. They want that attention.
Obviously,
You know what I'm saying?
Badfinger did.
Oh, they'd have no problem with it, I'm sure.
Well, until they were going to retweak the song, and he said, "No,
No,
idiot,
no, no,
do it
no.
like this. Do it like this, and you'll have a
Right.
hit."
Right. But what I'm trying to say, I mean, when you're an artist and you're doing a song, you kind of want to make it your own, and you really don't want. I don't know if you really want other people to realize that somebody else wrote it. You know what I'm saying? Because you want the attention of that song. You want people to know, hey, look, and I'm singing the song. This is my song, but yeah, someone else wrote it, but it's me.
You can't have it both ways.
No, and I don't think so. I don't think you can. So you
No.
have to have you have to promote it. Here's my new song, but it was written by McCartney.
Right, or like what most people do, like listen to Lennon doing "Cooking in the Kitchen." Right, he's a piano demo. Here you go, Ringo. This is how I did it. You take it and run with it. I'm sure he was like, okay, I'll copy it. Or a lot of times Ringo just did the same thing that whatever the demo was for him anyway. But most artists probably say, okay, here's how I think it goes.
Right. Well, we know how that happened with George. George ended up suing him. Ringo anyways for not really doing a song the way he wanted them to.
Yeah. So it's interesting to think about in terms of, especially after the Beatles, to your point about just because they wrote the song will it carry them all the way,
right?
And clearly with these 5 that we just picked, and again, these were just singles, we're not talking about other stuff,
right.
But these were songs that were obviously earmarked by the record company, by the artist, to say, okay, here's the single, we're going to try to push it.
Right.
I mean, Mine for Me, 91, done. So 30, Leave It got to 36.
36, yeah, On the Wings of Nightingale got to 50.
So it's just it's an interesting observation. And it was a nice opportunity to kind of go through these songs, and some of them I hadn't heard ever.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously some of them I did. So it was nice to kind of go back through these. Again, it's not like 50 songs. There's only a handful that are out there.
Right. That are singles. Obviously, Girlfriend was a single as well, for Michael, but Paul released his own version as well. So that's why I didn't really, include that one. Plus that was the last single for Off the Ground, and it was a UK single only, and I don't think it did very well.
You mean,
anyways,
Off the Wall?
Off the Wall. Sorry, thank you. Off the Wall.
See, I've rubbed off on you. See?
Yeah. Well, every time people see the backdrop, they know. I mean, Off the Ground is always talked about because people know, they see the album on the wall and they know I'm not the biggest fan of that album. So it's just
no. You purposely keep it off camera so we don't see it.
Oh yes, that's right. That's right.
You don't want to see those feet dangling in the air.
No. As a matter of fact, that's funny you mentioned that, because when it comes to that thumbnail for ranking the tracks, I kind of told Ethan, okay, try to find images of us making like, ooh, with
the feet
with the feet dangling up, making us like a PU faces or something.
Oh, that'll be easy for you. That'll be a funny one.
No, it will be. It will be. Absolutely. Well, great. All right, cool. So we're gonna wrap this one up. Andy, anything else you want to add before we sign off?
No. Thanks for coming up with always new and engaging topics for discussion here on Two Legs. So it's aside from just doing our normal, what's going through our shows here, and Tom is always busy behind the work. Behind there, reaching out to people and trying to put the calendar together for the next few months, and I'm kind of the techie guy behind the operation, but we make a good team, and he always keeps us. We have our calendars here, and he's like, he'll call me up and say, all right, March has 5 Saturdays, April has 4 Saturdays. Here's who we're gonna line up, and I'm like, okay, got it, and then we just go with it. So. No, it's been a blast. So, thank you for all the hard work you do for the show.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, brother. I can't do the show without you. Everything you do, including the website, twolegspodcast.com. Check that out. You'll see a lot of our Twitter feed and all the videos that are on YouTube. You'll get the feed there as well. So you can click on that and it'll take you right to our channel, our YouTube channel. Speaking of our YouTube channel, if you haven't subscribed, please check it out. Two Legs, a Paul McCartney podcast. We're getting close to 500. We'd like to try to get to 500 pretty soon. And then obviously we're going to probably do a big 1,000 subscriber contest once we get closer to the thousand. We're already trying to collect things here and there for a
Things that we have,
giveaway.
things that we have
Yeah.
copies of. Tom, you got
Yeah, exactly.
how many copies are coming up? Do you have?
I've got 2 copies, and so one of them is going to go in there.
Right.
But yeah,
We're gonna come up with a little McCartney kind of grab bag giveaway.
there you go. Exactly. Yeah. So we're going to do that. So be on the lookout for that. But first, let's get to 500. So we're really on our way there. So after this, the Wednesday after this, we're going to be ranking Flowers in the Dirt.
Yeah, baby.
There you go. That's a 2-disc set right there, right?
Yeah.
Very
Japanese.
cool. Japanese, very good, very good. We just did
Pause.
press to play. Sorry,
We just did press to play. Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. I mean, I'm really appreciate you guys tagging along, making this journey with us. A lot of people reaching out saying, "Oh, I just listened to it again. Maybe my opinion changed on a couple songs I didn't like before." That's what this is really all about. Going back, listening to these tracks. Are they really as bad as you thought they were 10 years ago, 15 years ago? 20 years ago, go back, listen to these albums. Yeah, it might hold up, your opinions might hold up, but there might be something you might hear with with the different, with the
we got a lot of comments about
Yeah.
that, about the last 2 that we did, prior.
right, exactly.
Broad Street and Press to Play, Pipes of Peace. People are like, wow, I
Yeah.
hadn't listened to that record in 20 years. And
Exactly. Right. Yeah. And everybody's picks are wonderful. No one's right. No one's wrong. So whatever your ranking is, then if it's good for you, then that's all that matters. And we love seeing that stuff. So keep those comments coming. We really appreciate it. And so yeah, Two Legs, a Paul McCartney podcast on our YouTube channel. So please check that out. We're also everywhere: iHeartRadio, iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, Amazon, Pandora, you name it. Andy's got us on it. So thank you there, my friend. And what else? Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at Two Legs Podcast. Check us out there. Please like. I'm probably going to make the Facebook page probably public, so where people can post stuff on there as well. We got a couple requests for that. So that way it doesn't go all to our messenger. People can post stuff, what I'm saying, on our Facebook page. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah,
Well, they can anyway, right?
Well, it doesn't, but they don't see it on the wall. It doesn't come up on the wall.
It doesn't.
Only things that the admins post will go on the wall. So this way, if any of our friends, Ed, Don, Serge, if they want to post something on our wall, they can.
Oh, what do we have to do? What do we have to do that?
I just gotta click a button. I gotta find out. I don't know.
Oh, well, we can look at that off the
air. Yeah, exactly. So, and then just make things a little bit more fun. Things can post stuff on the wall, and we can interact more that way as well. So
awesome.
Yeah, so that might be it. Coming to an end here. February's closely ending. We got March. We got a bunch of.
This is our last show for February. Our last Saturday show.
Yeah. We got a bunch of fun people coming up. We're going to be doing part 2 of our look at the Lennon-McCartney relationship during the 70s. So Anthony Ratuno will be coming in. We got a good friend of the show. A lot of people you may know on Facebook, Tom Brennan. We're going to be doing a bootleg show. We're just going to be discussing the more well-known bootlegs of.
And we're not endorsing them. We're not endorsing them.
Obviously we're not endorsing. We're just. How many do you have, by the way? No, I was kidding.
0.
Yeah, right. So. So that's coming up. We've got other people. We got Ken Michaels coming back. We're going to be doing part two. With Ken a few months ago, we did our first look of the last 20 years of Paul helping other acts, whether it's on a soundtrack or whether or not he's performing on a compilation or if he's performing instruments on another person's album. So things like that. We're going to be doing the 80s and 90s for this episode. So there'll be part two of that as well. So be on the lookout for that soon. Probably a compilations show as well. So we got a bunch of ideas, floating around, and they're going to be coming soon. So thank you all for joining us. You know where to find us now. And as always, everybody out there, have a great day and a beautiful night. Take care.
You've been listening to Two Legs, a Paul McCartney podcast, hosted by Tom Hunyadi and Andy Nichols, with musical contributions by Dylan